Like if we could all just literally just spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes with them, I feel like we would be such better people. We would understand so much more about them, about the world, about energy, about unconditional love. Like our entire world would be so different. Hi everyone, welcome back. So I was getting ready and I was getting a lot of information, and I feel like this is something that I need to talk about. It has to do with people that are autistic, neurodivergent, ADHD even, but I've been thinking about this for a couple weeks now, and I feel like it's really important for me to make this video. They keep urging me to make it, so I don't know where it's gonna take me, but I'm just gonna follow along. I was watching a couple months ago, I had to write it down because I couldn't remember. I was watching Beyond Belief with George Norrie. It was with Bill McKenna about telepathy, the unspoken gift of autism. So I was thinking the other day, we got into this place as like a collective, right? Where we've been following the leaders, the higher ups for so long, which is why we've kind of like got stuck where we are, why we haven't evolved, why we haven't raised our vibration, why there's been so many things that have been programmed in us to make us small, feel insignificant, and make us forget how incredibly powerful we truly are, right? So bear with me. I keep hearing that there's so many more autistic people than before, so many more neurodivergent people, so many more people with ADHD, ADD, whatever the case may be. So what if, right? Because if you have these autistic children that are nonverbal, that don't really have control over their physical body, can't conform, you know what I mean, to like regular school systems, to our social standards and norms, do you know what I mean? What if this is like a big push from, you know, what's going on, the universe, source, whatever the case may be? What if there are so many that have come here because we can't conform? Like we've been such sheep, right? Following the crowd and doing what everyone else does. And like, even though there's a little thingy in our heart that says like, I don't know if this is right. I don't know if I should be going this way. I don't know if I should be doing this, but the entire crowd is going left. So you're like, oh, I feel like I have to go left, because if I go right, it's going to stir up it's going to open up a whole can of worms, right? So most of us end up going left with the entire crowd, but these people can't. They just can't. And the thing that I keep hearing is they are the keepers of the love frequency. Like I think when I was reading, when I was watching that show with Bill McKenna, is that they vibrate at such a higher frequency. They have such a frequency of unconditional love. And it's been a couple months since I've seen this, so don't quote me on it. But what I got from it is that they resonate in such a high frequency of unconditional love. And when they even talked about the telepathy tapes, how they meet on the hill, and how they are able to connect with people all across the world and communicate telepathically. I'm getting all the chills right now. So what if, because they can't conform, they are the ones that are really like boosting us to resonate and to vibrate at a higher frequency? And even if you think about it, if you have this one person that can't communicate with their family, right? That can't conform to our norms, to our standards, what has been deemed to be normal for such a long time. You know what I mean? What if they keep vibrating at the frequency that they naturally exude out, that they normally vibrate at? Like, can you imagine what it does to their family members that are around them, taking care of them? Besides the fact that they are teaching them so much about patience and loving unconditionally and like taking care of someone, and there's so much like soul growth that happens both ways in those family dynamics. But think about the frequency that gets emitted through osmosis to the family members. What about to the neighbors in that neighborhood? Because they can only vibrate at the frequency that they vibrate at, because there's nothing that they can conform to, because they're so solid in their frequency, because they can't conform to anything else, physically, emotionally, energetically. And they are so incredibly intelligent They are so in tune with the world around them, with nature. Like, all of us should want to be able to resonate where they are, be able to connect with all the things that they connect to, because it is on such an otherworldly level. Which is why I feel, and this is just my opinion, and this is what I'm just kind of thinking now, is like, if we could all be more like them, this world would be such an incredible place. This world would be so different. The way that we would live our lives is so different. The way that we would set up our systems, whether it's government, health, school, and anything that you can think of, it would be so different, because it would come from a place of unconditional love that conforms, hold on, let me back up, that doesn't conform to what is normal, to try to stuff us in a box that we can't fit into. There are so many of us that can't fit into the box because we are not meant to fit into the box. We are meant to create a mold that doesn't fit the normal standards, because change is meant to come. Change is meant to be happening right now, which is why there are so many of us right here, right now, that can't conform to our standards. I mean, like, how incredible is this? How incredible. Wow. I feel like I'm like, let me see if there's anything else that they want me to talk about, but I think that this is it. Like, I really just feel like they are the ones that are gonna bring so much change, that like the work that we do as people that can somewhat conform to the norms, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they hold us, they are the pillars that hold our foundation up for the ones that can conform, that can bring change into the physical world for others. I feel like they are literally holding us above water, kind of floating so that we don't sink. Like, I feel like they hold the frequency and the resonance of unconditional love, so that the ones that are able to function as human beings that are deemed to be semi-what normal, do you know what I mean? That can communicate with others, that can do like regular jobs, whatever the case may be, like they hold us up in such a frequency so that we can't fall below that. I feel like they are literally the keepers. It's literally like they are like a floating device that keep all of us up, so that we are able to do the work as humans that they might not be able to do in their physical form as humans. Like, I've always had this feeling that they were such incredible people. I'm gonna get emotional. I just remembered there was this, I was working in the service industry, and there was this boy that was nonverbal, that had the little headphones on. And I don't know, I feel like there was such a recognition and energy, because they even said like he doesn't really do eye contact, he doesn't really like, he doesn't talk, he doesn't, you know, come around people, like he doesn't do like the physical contact. And when I came to greet this table, I felt called to kind of focus on him and kind of tune into him for some reason. I think this was like 2 years ago, and all of a sudden his eyes like lit up. And he wanted to touch me, and he like reached out his arm, and I extended my hand, and he just looked at me with such like almost recognition, almost intrigue, which I can't even put it into words, but like he latched onto my hand, and I felt so much love. I felt such a like an energetic like recognition that I can't even explain. And like the family that he was with, they were like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, there's nothing to be sorry about. Like, it's perfectly fine. Like, he's not doing anything wrong. Everything is fine. And every time I would come to this table, I would feel such joy. And I don't know if I just picked up on his, or I just felt so happy to be in his energy, to be vibrating in his frequency. But like, I loved stopping by that table and asking if they needed anything. And I loved like, and I could see him looking for me as I was like serving the other tables. And then like, as you know, the you know, their dining experience came to a close, I just wanted to like, I don't know, I just wanted to hug him. Like, he was so young. I think he was maybe like 7, maybe 8, 9 tops. I don't know, and that experience will stick with me until the end of my days. It was such an incredible experience. And I feel like if people would give these children or these people the time of day to just sit in their frequency, to connect to their energy, I feel like we would learn so much, and we wouldn't be so feel so uncomfortable being in their presence because they are deemed to be so different, because they can't conform to the ways that we are able to function in the world. They are so different, but different is such a gift in this world of conform and constriction and trying to squeeze into a tube that is not meant for you to fit into. If we could all just literally just spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes with them, I feel like we would be such better people. We would understand so much more about them, about the world, about energy, about unconditional love. Our entire world would be so different. I encourage you, the next time that you see a child that is different, I encourage you to just pause and not resort to instant judgment so quickly, because that's what we're programmed to believe. Just pause, connect to their energy if you can, or even just sit in their presence, not next to them, but close proximity, and then see what changes in your heart, in your energy. I promise you, you're gonna feel a difference, and it's gonna be amazing.